So I interned at Microsoft as a software engineer twice. Once in Vancouver as part of the Garage program, working on a HoloLens project, and once at the Redmond HQ on developer tools. Both times were pretty fun. I got to learn a lot as an engineer, made some good friends, and lived like a tourist in two new cities. I'll give some lore on how I got the roles and some cool stories. So, back in 2017, I was going to school for computer science at the University of Toronto. In the middle of the school year, a Microsoft recruiter came to campus to recruit for the Vancouver Internship program. One of the internships was Garage. I remember Garage was pitched as a hackathon internship. Groups of students and only students would work together on some fast-paced, self-contained project using Microsoft tools. Think HoloLens, Minecraft, and Azure. Almost like a mini startup within Microsoft. I still remember how there was a swarm of every CS student crowding around the recruiter to drop off their resume and get her email. I saw this because I did the exact same thing. Thankfully, I got really lucky and got to do both. I then spent some 2 hours writing a cover letter explaining why I wanted to work at Microsoft and talking about all the hackathons and projects I did, and trying pretty hard to connect every job I worked at before to coding. Somehow, the rambling worked and I got an interview. I still remember the technical interview was done on one of those big flip notepads and having to learn the once-in-a-year technique of how to code with pen and paper. I remember the question too. It was something with hash maps under LeetCode Easy. For those that code, I won't say which question it was, but you probably know which one. I'll be real. I barely figured out the secret sauce for the question, but I'm pretty sure I stumbled to the correct response in the end. Because somehow, a few weeks after the interview, they called me for the Vancouver on-site final round. It was honestly pretty cool for a student back then to do these on-sites because Microsoft flew the candidates out and paid for lodging, food, and transportation. It was kind of like a vacation, but you had to do an exam. So, early winter in 2017, I flew out to Vancouver. I remember riding to the hotel and meeting the other interviewing students. The people were very nice. It was cool hearing about what going to university in other parts of Canada was like, since, at the time, everyone I knew went to school in Ontario province and a few in Quebec. The interview cohort had dinner together. I think I nearly got sick from one sushi dish, but thankfully I dodged an incapacitation. Next morning was interviews. I think interviews started early, something like 9 a.m., so I had to get up and prep at around 7. I swear, I brought cracking the coding interview with me as some sort of magic tome. The Microsoft Vancouver office was very pretty. Unironically, I thought I'd be happy to not even get the job because this is such a cool experience. The interview format was standard on-site stuff. 4 rounds, all technical, one sort of system design and free coding. 15-minute breaks in between and a recruiter talked to us during the break, so it was actually pretty chill. Oh yeah, they gave us some pastries to snack on in the break room. This was one of the few times in my life where I didn't just inhale the whole buffet, because going to think with a full stomach was probably a recipe for disaster. First round was system design. I'll be real, at the time, I have not done system design before. I actually didn't know about the drawing the boxes and the scaling and the bro just buy more machines bro as a solution to all of life's problems. So, I just kept asking for requirements. I think the interviewer was just trying to see if anyone gets baited and just starts writing code. The interview was actually kind of fun since we talked about how this system we designed was going to integrate with real Microsoft products. Second interview, coding. The question was something with strings within strings. Might have brute forced it a little bit, but the guy was happy with it. Had a lot of time to chat with the interviewer afterwards, and he actually gave me life lessons, like what I should do with my career and how to be a man kind of thing. Got a huge mental clarity buff for the next few rounds. Third round, coding. I actually don't remember what happened, but it probably went okay. Fourth round, also coding. Something with math. LeetCode medium, a big brain solution was possible. Me, I did the peanut brain solution. The interviewer was good with it though, somehow. Honestly, I think all the interviewers were super nice and patient with us because looking back, I said some bizarre stuff. I don't think I would have passed me back then if I was interviewing. Anyway, with the remaining time, he was basically selling me on working at Microsoft, and young me was eating this up. It honestly sounded so cool. This detail is gonna come up later. After that, the interviews were done. No one got escorted off of the premises, so huge success. All the interns went to this one sushi place where they used a blowtorch to blast the sushi. I think we partially went to try it and partially to empty the reimbursement money. After that, hotel, snooze, plane, and went back to school. The decision waiting process was actually horrid. I was refreshing my email constantly, in class, at the library, at the gym. actually psycho man behavior for 2 weeks. At some point, the recruiter said we'd get the response on a specific day. Dude, it was like the heart was just thumping 24/7. I thought I was gonna catch a disease from this. I remember talking to my parents about the whole situation, and they unironically said, nah, you'll win. For those that understood that reference, this is not a good omen. But like looking back, the faith was very wholesome, but goodness me, dude. Then one day, the email came. I swear, the heartbeat from that email took a few years off of me. But thankfully, the words congratulations at the start of the email added them back. It was one of those dreams becoming reality kind of moments. It was some true joy streaking after finding out. I remember buying like Apple products for the first time in my life to celebrate. Well, partially because the income had gone to my head, but partially as celebration. The actual internship ran January to April of 2018. The money was pretty good for a student. I think something like 4K a month Canadian. There was also a rent stipend, but my dad was working in Vancouver at the time, so it was a-okay. Dude, his apartment was so sick. It was next to the TNT, so you could buy all the Chinese food and weeb snacks. It was also right on top of a Costco, so the 24 pack of chicken breast was in breathing distance. It was actually living among living, dude. Anyway, they flew me out to Vancouver, and it was my first time consciously being in the West Coast. So you know, like when you go to a place when you're a little kid and don't really remember anything, yeah, because this was adult travel, I could actually remember things. That's how I can make this video. So that's the gist of how I got into Microsoft. All in all, not a bad experience. Well, the paranoia weeks were kinda nuts, but other than that, I had a good time. I might do a follow-up on what happened during the internship, but that's the end of the video. See ya.